Driving license in Germany 2026, Hook Zero Dauschu. Are you planning to get a driving license in Germany? Then you probably already know one thing. It can be expensive. But how much does it really cost? How difficult is the theory test? How many driving lessons do you need? What happens during the practical examination? Can you drive with a caravan or trailer using a normal Class B license? And once you finally have your license, what happens if one of Germany's famous speed cameras catches you? In this video, I'll explain the complete process step by step. So, if you're an international living in Germany, or planning to move here, watch until the end. This information could save you time, money, and unnecessary stress. Introduction 040. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Life in Germany, the channel where I share practical information to help internationals live, work, and settle successfully in Germany. If you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell for more practical videos about living in Germany. Today we're talking about something many newcomers eventually have to deal with: getting a driving license in Germany. When I first came to Germany, I thought getting a driving license would be similar to many other countries. But I soon realized that Germany has a very structured driver training system. It requires preparation, time, and, unfortunately, quite a lot of money. So today I'll explain the requirements, costs, theory, and practical examinations, caravan and trailer licenses, speed cameras, fines, and penalty points. Let's get started. 1. Requirements for a German driving license. Let's start with the standard Class B driving license, or Führerschein Klasse B. This is the normal license used for passenger cars. The minimum age is generally 18, although Germany also offers a company driving from age 17, known as Begleitetes Fahren ab 17. One of your first steps is choosing an approved driving school, called a Fahrschule. You'll also normally need an eye test, known as a Sehtest. You'll need to complete a recognized first aid course called an Erste Hilfe Kurs. You'll also need a biometric passport photo and the required identification documents for your application. Your driving school can normally explain how to submit your application to the responsible local driving license authority. Here's an important tip. Compare several driving schools before registering. Don't look only at the registration price. Ask how much a normal driving lesson costs. Ask about special driving lessons. And ask about the additional fees charged when you take your theory and practical examinations. A driving school with a cheap registration fee isn't necessarily the cheapest option overall. 2. Theory and practical training. German driver training is more than simply taking a few driving lessons and going directly to the examination. For a first-time Class B license, theoretical training includes mandatory lessons covering general traffic knowledge as well as Class B specific material. Then comes the practical training. And here's something important. There isn't one fixed number of normal practical driving lessons that every student must complete. The amount of basic training you need depends on your progress and when your driving instructor believes you're ready. However, there are also mandatory special driving lessons. These are called Sonderfahrten. They include training on country roads, the Autobahn, and driving in the dark. These special lessons are an important part of German driver training, and they're also one reason the total cost can increase quickly. 3. How much does a driving license cost? Now we come to the question almost everybody asks. How much does a German driving license cost? Unfortunately, there isn't one fixed nationwide price. Driving schools set their own prices, and your final cost depends heavily on how many practical lessons you need. As a general budget, you should be prepared to spend several thousand euros. A total somewhere at around 2,500 to 4,500 euros or more can be possible depending on your location, driving school, number of lessons, and whether you have to repeat an examination. Your costs can include driving school registration, theory training, learning materials or an app, your eye test, first aid training, passport photographs, normal driving lessons, mandatory special lessons, and fees connected with the theory and practical examinations. The number of practical lessons is one of the biggest variables. If you need many additional lessons, the price can increase quickly. And if you fail an examination, you'll normally have additional costs before trying again. So don't rush into an examination just because you want to save money. Sometimes taking a few additional lessons beforehand can be cheaper than failing and repeating the test. 4. The theory examination. Now, let's talk about the theory test. One advantage for internationals is that the German theory examination is available in several languages, including English. For the standard first-time Class B examination, you'll normally answer 30 questions. The questions cover important topics including German traffic rules, road signs, right-of-way, speed and stopping distances, safe and environmentally responsible driving, vehicle safety, and recognizing dangerous situations. Different questions carry different numbers of error points. For Class B, you can generally have a maximum of 10 error points. But there's an important exception. If you incorrectly answer 2 questions carrying 5 error points each, you can fail even though your total is exactly 10. So practice regularly using the current learning materials provided or recommended by your driving school. And here's my advice: don't simply memorize the answers. Understand the rules. Ask yourself, why does that vehicle have priority? Why should I reduce my speed here? Where could a pedestrian or cyclist suddenly appear? Understanding the rules will help you not only in the theory examination, but also during your practical test and later in real traffic. 5. The practical driving test. Once you've passed your theory examination and your instructor believes you're ready, you'll take the practical driving test. For Class B, the practical examination is scheduled for approximately 55 minutes. The examiner isn't looking for someone who drives like a racing driver. They want to see whether you can operate the vehicle safely, independently, and responsibly. You may encounter different situations such as city traffic, country roads, higher speed roads, or the Autobahn where appropriate intersections, roundabouts, lane changes, parking, reversing, turning maneuvers, and emergency braking. Observation is extremely important. Check your mirrors properly, use your indicators. And don't forget something Germany is famous for in driving lessons: the Schulterblick, the shoulder check. Always pay close attention to cyclists and pedestrians. Maintain a safe distance from the vehicle in front of you. And most importantly, stay calm. If you make one small mistake, don't immediately assume you've failed. Continue concentrating and drive safely. 6. Caravans and trailers. B, B96 or B. Now let's talk about caravans and trailers because this can be confusing. With a normal Class B license, you can drive a vehicle with a maximum authorized mass of up to 3,500 kilograms. You can also tow a trailer with a maximum authorized mass of up to 750 kilograms. A heavier trailer can also be possible with Class B if the maximum authorized mass of the complete vehicle and trailer combination doesn't exceed 3,500 kilograms. But what if your combination is heavier? That's where B96 becomes relevant. With the B96 extension, the maximum authorized mass of the vehicle and trailer combination can go up to 4,250 kilograms. B96 requires additional driver training, but doesn't require a separate theory or practical examination. For qualifying heavier trailer combinations, you may need a Class BE license. So before buying or renting a caravan, check the documents carefully. Look for the zulässige Gesamtmasse, the maximum authorized mass. Make sure both your vehicle and trailer combination are covered by your license. 7. Speed cameras in Germany. Congratulations, you've passed your examination and you're finally driving. But sooner or later you'll probably encounter something Germany is famous for: the Blitzer. Blitzer is the everyday German word used for a speed camera. Germany uses both fixed and mobile speed enforcement. Fixed cameras can be installed in towns, on major roads, and in locations where authorities want drivers to reduce their speed. Then there are mobile speed cameras. These can appear in different locations and can be operated using roadside equipment or vehicles. That means simply memorizing the locations of fixed cameras isn't a sensible strategy. The safest solution is much easier. Follow the posted speed limit. And remember that using certain speed camera warning functions while you're driving can also create legal problems in Germany. 8. Speeding fines and Flensburg points. So what happens if a speed camera catches you? First, the authorities determine the relevant speed after applying the required measurement tolerance. Depending on the situation, the registered vehicle keeper may later receive correspondence about the alleged offense. One thing you need to understand is the difference between innerorts and außerorts. Innerorts means inside built-up areas. Außerorts means outside built-up areas. For example, for a normal passenger car, driving up to 10 kilometers per hour over the limit can result in a fine of around 30 euros inside a built-up area and 20 euros outside. At 11 to 15 kilometers per hour over, it's around 50 euros inside and 40 euros outside. At 16 to 20 kilometers per hour over, it's around 70 euros inside and 60 euros outside. And at 21 to 25 kilometers per hour over, you could be looking at approximately 115 euros inside or 100 euros outside, together with one penalty point. For more serious violations, the consequences increase. You can receive higher fines, you can receive penalty points, and in certain cases, you can receive a temporary driving ban. Germany records relevant penalty points in the driving fitness register associated with Flensburg, so don't think of speed cameras simply as something you need to avoid. The better approach is to know the speed limit and drive safely according to the conditions. Conclusion. So let's quickly recap. To get your Class B driving license in Germany, you'll normally need to register with a Fahrschule, complete your first aid course and eye test, finish the required theory and practical training, and pass both examinations. You should be financially prepared because the entire process can cost several thousand euros. For caravans and trailers, remember these three important categories: B, B96, and BE. And once you're driving, respect the speed limits. Not simply because of fines, speed cameras, and Flensburg points, but because safe and responsible driving is the purpose of the entire German driver training system. Now, I'd like to hear from you. Are you currently getting your driving license in Germany? If you are, tell us in the comments. Which city are you in, and how much is your driving school charging? Your experience could help other people watching this video. And if you'd like me to make another video explaining how to convert a foreign driving license into a German driving license, let me know in the comments. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Life in Germany, and share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, drive safely, take care, and enjoy your life in Germany. Bye for now.